People say that when your life changes forever, you don't see it coming. That it hits you like a car out of nowhere, sending you spiraling before you even know what happened. But for me, it started with a simple conversation. It was a Monday evening, and I was at the gym, finishing up my last set of deadlifts, sweat dripping down my back, muscles burning. Same routine. Same place. I had been going to the same gym for 5 years, built a rhythm, knew most of the regulars. That's why when Rick, one of the trainers, walked up to me, wiping his hands on a towel, I didn't think anything of it at first. "Hey, Caleb," he said, nodding toward me. "You got a second?" I set down the weights, rolling my shoulders as I caught my breath. "What's up?" He hesitated. That was the first sign something was off. I had known Rick for years. He wasn't the kind of guy to mince words. But now, he looked like he was choosing them carefully. "It's about Ava," he finally said. "My wife." The second her name left his mouth, I felt an unease settle in my stomach. Instinct. "She's been spending a lot of time here," Rick continued, his voice lower now. "Which, great for her. But she's always with this one guy. Tall, blonde, real built. They're always training together, spotting each other, stretching together." I narrowed my eyes. "So?" Rick scratched his beard, looking uncomfortable. "It's just, look, man, I see a lot of people come in here. I see how couples train together, how friends act, and what I see between them. It's not just working out." I didn't move, didn't react, just stared at him, my pulse picking up speed. He sighed, shaking his head. "I wouldn't have said anything, but it's been going on for months. And last week, I saw them leave together." Something cold slid through me. Rick had no reason to lie. My hands clenched into fists. My mind ran through every excuse, every possible explanation, but deep down, I already knew. Ava was cheating on me, and she thought she was getting away with it. I drove home in silence, gripping the steering wheel. The streets blurred past me, my heart hammering in my chest. It couldn't be true, but it was. Rick had seen it. He had no reason to tell me unless he was sure. I replayed the last few months in my head. The late nights, the extra showers, the sudden interest in fitness, the way she had stopped reaching for me in bed. I pulled into our driveway, staring at the house I had worked so hard to build. Everything I had given her, everything I had built for us. And she had thrown it all away for some guy at the gym? I needed to see it with my own eyes. And when I did, I would make sure she regretted every single choice she had made. For the next 2 weeks, I became a ghost in my own marriage. Ava had no idea that I knew. She still smiled at me in the mornings, kissed me goodbye, told me she was going to the gym after work, lied to my face like it was nothing. I played along. And in the background, I watched. I installed a GPS tracker on her car, checked our bank statements, noticed the extra charges, restaurants, drinks, hotels. And then, one night, I followed her. She had told me she was heading to the gym. Instead, she drove to a small hotel on the outskirts of town. I parked a safe distance away, watching as she stepped out of the car, adjusting her jacket, fixing her hair. And then he arrived. Tall, blonde, built like a Greek statue. He pulled up beside her, and the moment she saw him, her entire face lit up. I hadn't seen her smile at me like that in years. She ran to him, and he caught her in his arms, kissing her like he had every right to, like she was his. And she was. Not mine. Not anymore. I took out my phone and snapped a picture. Then another. And another. Proof. Ava had made her choice. Now, it was time for me to make mine. And I wasn't going to be kind. I spent the next week planning. I didn't want to fight. I didn't want to yell, demand answers, ask why she had done it. I didn't care anymore. I wanted her to feel what I felt. The slow, suffocating realization that your life, everything you built, everything you trusted, was over. I created something cruel. Something she would never be able to escape from. A reminder of what she had done, of what she had lost, and of the man she had betrayed. The night before everything fell apart, she curled up next to me in bed, her body warm against mine. I stared at the ceiling, barely breathing. I could feel her heart beating. She had no idea. No idea that when she woke up tomorrow, her world would never be the same. And I couldn't wait to watch it all crumble. I woke up before her. The house was still dark, the air thick with silence. I slid out of bed carefully, making sure she didn't stir. Everything was ready. I had spent the entire night preparing, making sure every detail was perfect. Every piece of my revenge had to hit her at once. I walked downstairs, my hands steady, my mind calm. The weight of betrayal had sat heavy on my chest for weeks, but not anymore. Now, it was hers to carry. I took one last look around, my lips curling into a small, humorless smile. Then, I walked out the front door and never looked back. I waited at the coffee shop across the street, watching. It started the moment Ava walked downstairs. I could almost picture it, the way she'd pause at the bottom step, blinking as she took in the hundreds of photographs taped to the walls, the mirrors, the doors. Every single one was a picture of her and him. Kissing in parking lots. Meeting outside hotels. Proof. But that wasn't the worst of it. No, the worst part was the notes. Dozens of them, scattered across the floor, taped to the walls, tucked into every drawer. Each one contained a single message. I know. On the kitchen table, I had left my wedding ring. And beside it, a single envelope. Inside was the divorce paperwork. Signed. Dated. Final. No conversation. No explanations. Just the end. I turned my phone back on hours later. 67 missed calls. Voicemails. Texts. Desperate, pleading messages. I didn't listen to them. Didn't need to. I blocked her number. Because as far as I was concerned, Ava didn't exist anymore. And I never planned on seeing her again.